Hi guys, how's everybody doing? It has cooled off here, thank goodness. Thank you for sending me some cooler weather. It's 82 degrees, so that's relatively cool for here. My air conditioner didn't turn on all night long, so it was in the, I guess, around 70 degrees all throughout the night, so it didn't have to come on. It was cool enough in the house, so thank goodness, yay! Maybe it'll be an end to $500 electric bills. I hope so. So hopefully you guys are getting a little of this cool weather. It's such a nice change. The humidity's gone, so it's drier outside. So even though it's still warm, it feels so much better, especially in the evenings when you go out. So Kevin McCarthy did not last too long, did he? I actually felt sorry for the guy, I have to say. Just the look on his face and watching him walk out of the House chambers there, it just it was sad, it really was sad. It made me sad. I felt bad for him, but he wasn't true to himself, and that was his downfall. He tried to please everyone, and he couldn't keep the promises that he made. Not that I'm sure he wanted to keep them, but he knew he couldn't. He knew it. And that's what I mean about he wasn't true to himself, because he knew he couldn't keep those promises, so he should never have made them in the first place, because now he's very untrustworthy. He's soiled his reputation, and nobody trusts him. And he's been there since 2002. So hey, he knows how to do the job. He knows what it takes and everything. uh, he should have learned exactly what was needed of him in these past 21 years. But, some people have to learn their lessons over and over and over, unfortunately. And I think he's just one of those guys. So I had the privilege of being sent a book by Rob Falgiano. I believe that's how you say his name. Thank you. Thank you, Rob, for the book. I've only read a little bit of it, but you can hear the first, I think I saw 35 minutes online on YouTube. So I will have the link down below. But in his book, he actually he marked the pages. He talks about all the different readers that are on YouTube. So, Linda G, me, Psychic Viola, um, uh, Kim from Intuitive View. A bunch of people are listed here. And also for the healing, quantum healing, and all kinds of different therapies, energetic healing and therapies. He mentions me here, and he says to contact me for a service. So he's recommending me. So thank you, Rob. I really appreciate that. And I do intend to read the whole book. But if you would like to listen to it or order his books, he has written a few books. And I think there was another one that he wrote that I wrote it down here. Let me see. God Laughs at Dirty Jokes. So go check him out, you guys. He sent this to me just out of his own expense. So thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. All right, I'm also reading a few other books too by, just want to share this with y'all. This is kind of like a keto diet book. It's William Davis. He's a cardiologist. You can listen to him online here on YouTube. There's a lot of different interviews with him. Go check this out. He is, he's telling it like it is. He used to put stents in. He was in the cardio lab all day long. And you know what he figured out? He learned all these medicines that cardiac patients are taking, cholesterol lowering drugs and all that, they're not really working. They are not working. The stents aren't working. You know what works? Eating healthy. And he says, like, you don't feed a dog food that's made for a horse. You know what I mean? He puts these kind of analogies together, and we're just not getting the type of food that we need. And also, our food has been engineered. All the grains, all the seed products have been engineered, and they're causing so much inflammation. Oh, I'm really enjoying this book. So I've almost finished reading that. I've already started the diet, and it's a lot like keto, but there's a little more to it than that. So taking a probiotic and just some of the things that he uh, says to do are a little bit different than keto. So check him out, you guys. He also has this super gut. It's for people that have been on medications for a long time and they need to restore their gut bacteria, the uh, microbiome of your gut. So I haven't read this one yet, but I'm going to. Anyway, I'm hoping that my husband will listen to me and go on this diet and get off his medication, because there's so many testimonials all throughout this book that people have gotten off their diabetes medicine, their cholesterol medicine, because these all have huge side effects. They break down your muscles. My husband, he is having, so much muscle pain, and I know it's from the medicines that he's taking. I want him to get off from it. So I don't know if I can get him to do that, because, he is a medicine guy. He believes in the doctors, but he's had, one procedure after another, after another, after another. He's had stents put in every few years. So he's taken all these drugs, and he still has had heart disease, and he still has had plaque. And I think, this makes more sense. Let's try something different now. You've been doing this for, gosh, he's been since he turned 40. So, um, 30 something years. Yeah, 33 years he's been taking these medications. And he had a, quadruple bypass. So I want to try something different, but I got to see if I can talk him into it. All right. So I did do a reading on the Speaker of the House. Uh, I recorded it, and it didn't go well. Something happened, and it got messed up. So I'm going to tell you guys what I learned through the reading that I did, and I pulled some cards on it. So far there is Steve Scalise, Jim Jordan. Um, Now these are the ones they're talking about. Not everybody has made a commitment, I understand, but we're going to take a look at them anyway. Kevin Hearn, Elise Stefanik, Byron Donalds, and Donald Trump. Donald Trump we're not even going to look at, because he's never going to be speaker. We don't even have to look at that. I can guarantee you that's not going to happen. Matt Gaetz, boy, he is an instigator, isn't he? He was being investigated, remember, in 2020 about doing some illicit drugs and what was it? Sexual misconduct, I think, with a minor. So he gave a minor some money for sex or something. I don't know exactly what it was. So they were investigating it, but the Justice Department didn't ever charge him. I guess they just dropped it. They didn't find out anything there to charge him with. But the House Ethics Committee has reopened the investigation, and they're taking another look at it. Now, of course, because the Republicans are the majority, the chair is a Republican, but there are 5 Democrats and 5 Republicans, so it's pretty even, Steven, and they're still investigating him. Yeah. You're not off the hook yet, Matt Gaetz. So he is the one that, called for McCarthy to vote to oust him. So he got what he wanted. He's kind of a mean man. I don't think he's very well liked either. He's pretty mean. Are y'all watching Trump? All the stuff going on with Trump at the trial in New York after he was coming out. He stayed there for 2 days, sat through the trial, just the meanest look on his face. I mean, that man can really give some dirty looks. I mean, dirty looks. And he's just sitting at the table and then going out and just talking crap about the judge and the court reporter and everything. And so the judge puts a gag order on him, and what does he do? He leaves. Why? Because he can't control himself. And they told him, "You're going to get in trouble." So he said, "I better get out of here." So back to Florida he went. And then he was supposed to be deposed he was suing his fixer. Michael Cohen. What was it? Some crazy number like he was suing for $500 million or something. I don't know. Anyway, he was supposed to be deposed, and of course he didn't want to be deposed because he can't keep his mouth shut, and he'll get himself in big trouble being deposed, and they'll use it against him in all these other court cases. So he dropped the case. So Michael Cohen is free to go for now, anyway. Who knows if he'll come back to bite him in the butt again. He's pretty vindictive, so I wouldn't doubt it. If he gets a chance, he'll open up another case against him, but not right now. Okay, let's take a look at everybody and see what their chances are and what's going on. God help us if Jim Jordan was the Speaker of the House. God help us. So Steve Scalise, it's funny, but I am getting a hit on him. Like his wife, Jennifer, she's already planning a celebration. So she thinks he's a shoo-in, like, you got this. But I do see a shadow being cast, so I don't think it's a done deal. I think he's a strong contender, but there is a shadow over this. But his wife definitely thinks that, honey, that's it. You're the speaker. But that little MAGA crowd, the little 8 people there, they're saying that they'll support him, but they want those same terms that they gave Kevin. And I mean, they're tricky. They're really, really tricky. They're trying to make a deal with him, but I don't think Scalise is going to go for that. I really don't. He has a good reputation as being fair, so the Democrats might help him. They didn't help McCarthy, but McCarthy did that to himself. He's got a lot of support. He really does. It looks good for him. He's got a lot of support, but he's not going to kowtow to the MAGA crowd. He's just not going to agree to the terms that one person can call for the vote to oust the speaker. He's not going to sell his power off. He's not going to exchange it. So he would be a positive change from, McCarthy, but it's an improvement. But it's still a Republican up there, but he would be an improvement. Also about his health will continue to improve. That is the good news. And in the next 6 months, it'll even get better. So some of you are worried, well, he has blood cancer. Is he going to get sicker? So I asked in the next 6 months how he'll be doing, and it looks like he'll continue to be improving in the next 6 months also. And that's as far as I looked. Jim Jordan, oh my gosh. Jim Jordan, God help us if he becomes Speaker of the House, because he is out to put Trump back and restore him to power and burn Biden down. You know what I mean? Jim Jordan is in love with Trump. They have a love fest, and he would love to see him president again. And the MAGA crowd, they would love. I say MAGA or MAGA. I used to say MAGA, and then everybody started saying MAGA, so I don't know. They would love to see him as Speaker. They would love it. But this could be a disaster. And there are some Republicans that feel that way, because there are some that live in Democratic strongholds, and they know that this would be disastrous for them because Jim Jordan is just too far out there. He really is. And this would really take the country down a dark path. And things happen for reasons. This is what I'm getting. And Jordan may be learning a lesson right in front of us. Okay? And if he became Speaker, there would be a lesson in it for him. Just like if he doesn't become Speaker, there's a lesson in there for him. And it's the same lesson as I can see. that being hurtful and cruel can come back to bite you in the ass, honestly. Uh, because if he was the speaker, he could not continue to act the way he is. He could not continue to uh, serve the way that he is and be speaker. He could not do that. He would have to learn to reach out to the other side. He would have to. He would have to learn to negotiate. And that would be a big lesson for him. So if we see him as speaker, know that this is a huge lesson for him. But also, it could be that he's seeking the speakership and he's not going to get it because, he's been so hurtful and cruel. So karma can come back to bite you in the ass. But he is seeking out support. He's not very well liked publicly, and this is going to hurt him in the long run. That's what I feel. Kevin Hearn. So for Kevin Hearn, things are happening a little bit too quickly. He's not the kind of person to make a really quick decision. He really wants to vet this out. I'm not even sure that he really wants to be nominated at this point. Uh, he's thinking things through very, very carefully. He's not going to make any hasty decisions because he doesn't want to end up, going through 15 votes and looking desperate like McCarthy. He doesn't want to tarnish himself. I feel like that he would be a good speaker, but the world is watching, and he has a good chance of accomplishing his goals of becoming a speaker. And don't forget that this is an opportunity of a lifetime. But he's a very private person. Even though he's a public person, there's something about him that's very secretive. Okay? But on the other hand, it's so hard for him to turn down a chance at being speaker, because these kind of things don't come around, very often. So I feel like he does have a good chance of becoming speaker, but I don't know. There's something, like I said, kind of secretive going on about him. We'll see if he really wants to go through this. Elise Stefanik. She is all in on Trump. She really, really is for Trump. She will defend him to the end. And that's not good to know. That's not who we want there. We already had McCarthy. We don't want somebody that, let Trump go. He's going to jail. He's done. He's finished. He's over. Quit looking, in the rearview mirror. Quit looking behind us. Let's look forward. She isn't going to be able to think for herself. She'll follow the crowd that supports Trump and what Trump wants to do, and that's not good. Instead of doing what's right for the country, she'll go with the status quo of the GOP. And, nobody wants that. At least none of us Democrats. But she is exactly what the GOP wants, I have to say. And she will also be willing to give away some of her power. So I feel that she's in talks right now, making some backroom deals and, giving away some of the power. She's not a Nancy Pelosi, that's for sure. But she's got a good shot because she's willing to make some deals. Byron Donalds. Donalds is struggling to get the votes that he needs. So he's also in talks with the GOP. It starts out really slow, but he's got some allies that are, convincing others to vote for him. So he's got that going for him. And he's building up his votes. So it starts out kind of slow, but it starts to build. But he's a little bit paranoid and closed off. Again, I don't feel like that he trusts that MAGA crowd. Even though he may be a part of them, they don't trust each other. So, he didn't want to end up like Kevin McCarthy, and he definitely doesn't want to give away his power. So he doesn't want to, get in that embarrassment. He doesn't want to go through that shame and embarrassment, and he won't give away his power. So what he has going for him is that he opposes Biden at you know, anytime he can, at every chance he gets, I should say. But he really does want to be speaker. Uh, he's just right now he's quietly counting the votes. He is a very calculated man, and he'll only move forward if he feels he has a reasonable chance of being speaker. So he's not out there to be publicly humiliated or anything. He's gonna really feel like I got a chance on of this before he'll even go through the procedure, I think. So yeah. So we'll see. We'll have to see. All right, guys. That's it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. Uh, we are going to a flea market this weekend. There was a flea market that I used to sell out at, and I haven't been out there in years and years and years. And it's a big flea market in San Antonio. We've got the best flea markets here, y'all. I sold so much when my kids were going to school. I used to go out there on the weekends and sell, my jewelry and all. And we're going to go out there and just take a look around and see how things are going and see if there's still anybody I know that's out there. So that's our plan. Just kind of have a relaxing weekend since it is going to be a little bit cooler. Walk out, at an outdoor market. So I hope y'all are going to do something fun. Sorry. Got some allergies. No matter what time of year it is, we have allergies here. I'm so tired of it. The only time we don't is when it's freezing cold and having an ice storm, and we don't want that. Although we do believe we're going to have a really tough winter this year, but cross our fingers we don't have an ice storm because that brought down the trees and all. Anyway, you guys enjoy your weekend. Do something fun this weekend. And if you would like to get a reading with me, just look down below. I'll leave my email. If you need some energy work home, if your home is a little funky, let me know. I can help you with that. Or if you need a healing session, or if you have a friend or family member that needs a healing session, I'm happy to do that for you. I have 2 different services on the healings. I do chakra balancing also. So just give me an email, send me a line or two, and we'll get together. I will talk to you again soon. Y'all take care. Do something kind for somebody. It'll always come back to you. Love you guys. Bye for now.